Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to get started on the Mafex Robocop battle damage version. So, let's get started. Gotta say, I love the original Robocop when it came out. I have the Figma, I have the Mafex, I have the NECA. Like, I'm a Robocop guy. Don't ask me why. I have a weird affinity towards robot people. Or cyborgs, I should say in this case. But, yeah. Here we are with the battle damage version now, years later. And what's crazy is, I love the paint apps for this. Now, I am unsure why they chose to not offer a battle damage helmet as well. Whereas with the original, we still got that. But I do love the new coloring on this because I don't know if you guys can see the amount of details in it, but it is really nicely painted with details that with the lighting, it kind of highlights those accents. We have all our battle damage here. We have tons of battle damage on all of our silver parts. And just like with the previous one, our leg doesn't holster in like tightly. So it comes off very easily, unfortunately. I do wish that was something that was a little better, but it comes off a little too easily. But I guess that is to secure, to make sure there are no paint scrapes or issues. But I gotta say, this is really, really nice. Just the presentation on this is fantastic. Now, if you're looking for super crazy cool articulation, that's not going to happen with this. But I will say this head sculpt, man, this head sculpt is amazing. Like, it's one of those things where I don't think that I can tell you just how good this is. Like, Mafex is killing it on the Gerber baby face. Like, it is a plus for real. It's one of those things where I don't think I can point out how good it is. I'm just gonna try to show it off in photos, and it still may not be enough, right? As far as our articulation, it's standard Robocop articulation. We have the arm pull out, as you can see there. We can lift our arms up about this far, so we can look like we have gigantic triceps and biceps, right? You have a little bit of a butterfly here. You do have a double joint, which is very nice. This is perfect for Robocop because there's limited movement otherwise. So I love the idea that the double joint is still there. You do have a full wrist joint as well. You can drop up or down on our shoulder joints. As far as the torso goes, so we can go left, we can go right. We do have a 3-section mid joint. We don't have really crazy forward articulation. Our chest plate does not come out on this one, just to keep in mind. So I tried it. As you saw, that does still come off. I'm going to leave that off for now because I want to talk about the difference between the articulation with and without it. As you can see here, we can pull out just a little bit on the leg to rotate outward, right? And here's our single jointed leg. Whereas on this side, we can do the same, right? But you're going to worry about that paint scrape here. So that's why I wanted to point that out, because you want to do that ever so gently on this side. And like I said, we have our single joint. For our ankle pivot, though, still pretty good for Robocop, I won't lie. Like, it doesn't do much, but it does enough for this figure that when you move him, especially because you do have toe pivot, or toe hinge, I should say. It doesn't matter. You know what the hell I meant. But it does look super good and very natural for Robocop to allow for a semi-realistic movement of a guy who's like a 600-pound cyborg. As you can see here, if I press just a little bit more forward, there you have it. And that actually looks really good. It looks like a guy who weighs 600 pounds full of mechanics walking towards you and at you, right? Look, we're going to rotate that leg a little bit. And we're going to resemble a guy who walks and talks, who is, Murphy. I love the idea of this. This is basically really detailed, tiny Robocop, and I love every second of it. Again, this is one of those things, though. If you're not a huge Robocop fan, I don't think it would matter to you, but this is really, really nice. Look at that. Now, in terms of our accessories, let's take a second to get our boy Murphy standing straight up. I want to make him look neat for what we got going on. I also want to try some part swaps because I want to do that in the accessory part, not the size comparison, because I don't want to waste your time. Now, what's really cool is, fun fact, when me, KJ, and my boy Dwight play Fortnite together, when we play trios, we call it We Don't Want to Get Robocopped. And now, if you've ever seen Robocop, you know exactly what that means. So, I hope you guys will call it that too. I'll see you guys in a sec. All right. It's accessory time. So, let's get to talking about it. Where do I start? Oh, you know what? Let's start with our leg mechanism, which I spoke about earlier. It comes off very easily. I don't mind it, considering that it stays for what you're going to do with Robocop. But when you are going to part swap with our part here, you're going to put the left tab in there. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong part. Then you actually have the other tab here for our mechanism slot to show when you are going to release your weapon. I love this part swap here. Obviously, you can still hold your gun there because you will get the definitive big gun, right? You also will get the effect part for it. So it's always a plus when they add that. I'm so happy. It's one of those things that they never not include. The muzzle flare for him. This is a excellent piece. Man, I love Robocop. This movie was so ridiculous and great in every way, right? So when you plug that in, you have to be careful plugging it in. If you're like me and you have big clumsy hands when you're not posing, it's one of those things I constantly knock down. But when you do get it on, it looks really, really good. Damn near perfect. It's one of those things that's not spring-loaded like the NECA one did, but it does look really good with him trying to holster it. As you can see, pose up right there. It looks fantastic. These are one of those things where posing this doesn't take a lot of effort, so it looks good no matter what you do. And that's always an A+ in my book, right? Look at that. Magnifique there. I love it. Right. So let's actually take this part back out. We're going to talk about our other accessories since we've gone over the gun and the leg holster. Always a plus for people, right? Now, our next weapon here is the giant rifle from Robocop. I believe this is the final battle scene, if I remember correctly. I could obviously not be remembering it correctly, right? So we have two versions of our bipod. We have... See, I learned the word bipod, so y'all can't get mad at me no more because I learned the word bipod. So, I do believe this is supposed to rotate down. Well, actually, no, it's a part swap, sorry. Mine was in there very tightly. So we have... Oh, there's our focus. Sorry about that, guys. So, here we are with our rifle. And then we have our bipod piece, which actually pops out. And then you have the actual part swap where you're going to, you can have it in this downward stance to help you obviously do what you do. So that is always a plus. Next up, you'll get the baby food, which I thought this was hilarious that they included it because it even has the Gerber baby face on it. I don't even know how I'm going to get you guys to see this on camera. But look at that. That is what I call attention to detail. You'll get 3 jars of it, 1 pink and 2 blue. But it is 100% there. I'm pretty sure they didn't add the Gerber part because they didn't want to get sued. So that's always a plus. Next up, though, we have our hand accessories. I think this probably has the most Robocop hand accessories. And he doesn't come with those pieces. So I got to do this the old school way. So here we are with our closed fist, right? Always glad they include those. You will have a pointing hand for the left hand. You will get a right trigger hand, because Robocop is right-handed. You will get a rifle trigger hand. If I remember correctly, this is definitely for... Yeah, this is for the rifle. Or it could just be a cool hand. Oh, no, this is for the Gerber food. I apologize. This is for the Gerber food. The Gerber food hand. This is for when you hold the jars. I'm tripping, y'all. But you can hold the rifle in this hand, too. But that's for the Gerber food. My apologies. Then this one, because there's 2 rifle hands. And at first you may not notice the difference, but it's the way that one trigger hand is actually longer than the other. And that one is going to be for the rifle. You have your hacking and slashing hand, which I'm going to post as my QCQ, but is also used for hacking at the time of Robocop. And yeah, that includes all of our accessories here. Now, before I go, very important thing that I wanted to talk about is that I wanted to compare it to our original release Robocop, which I kept mine because I still love this thing. I didn't want to give it up. I have all the Robocops now. All that's left now is Robocop 2 Battle Damage. Now, what's really cool about this is that technically, right, you can't swap the parts. Now, technically, like I said, but if you pop the neck out on this one. And I'm going to try to do it on camera. It's not easy because getting the neck out is actually quite the pain. But if you pop the necks out, and I may have to like take time to edit it off camera. Well, not edit it, but because I can't edit to save my life. But you might have to take the time to pull it out with some pliers, right? But you can actually pop the neck from the original into this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this off camera because it is hot as hell, and that's why it's not coming out. So I'm going to use something to grab it and get it out. So I'll be right back in a sec. Alright, so I got the head and the neck out. It took a second, but I need to do it off camera because I am too far out for obvious reasons. But once you pop that neck out, you can actually, and no, it doesn't color match, but for those of you that paint, right, technically, you can have a brand new sculpted head for your battle damaged body. So for those of you that paint, right, look at that. So for those of you that paint, this technically works, right? Look at that. So let's say you got him like a new helmet, but he was still like worn and torn out. So if you wanted to go the comics route, you can totally do that with this. Make it look cool. But you can do that. So I just want to keep that in mind for you guys. And now, without further ado, we're going to jump into the size comparisons. But I figured that was important for people who did want to know. So I wanted to be useful. See you guys in a sec. Alright guys, now we're on to the size comparison. As you saw before, we did the... we did the original Robocop from Mafex. I had a loss for words because I just saw that one of my feet came out on this guy, but don't worry about that. So we're going to show him off next to the original Mafex Robocop. And as you saw before, same size, same body, different paint job, upgraded parts. And the reason why I say upgraded parts is because this guy feels a lot tighter than this guy. He actually has a lot of loose bits. And yeah, I like it. I like that we've come to a different place. We're now on our fourth Robocop. Yeah, we're on our 4th out of 5. So the next one up is going to be the Battle Damage Part 2 Robocop. Hi, Chigo. Sorry about that. My cat's cute. Next up, I want to show you guys the Figma Robocop, which I believe was the first outside of NECA. So I think this is like the first import Robocop. As you can see, your man's is tiny. Very, very, very tiny. So let's take away our original Mafex one. And we're going to put him up next to the Mafex Terminator, which I regret not reviewing this because this is actually a really solid toy. And I know you guys are going to tell me it's never too late, but there are too many things coming out and it's just too little time. So forgive me. Please, please forgive me. So we have that, right? And as you can see, these guys are much bigger. Now, if we take away our Figma Robocop and we put a domestic 6-inch, which is going to be, we're going to do a Valiverse 6-inch military figure. As you can see, these guys are like 6.5 inches. So they are close to, if not tiny bit taller than that of both Robocop and Terminator, right? Take this guy away. Let's do a Marvel Legends. We'll do Zemo. I have Zemo here. Zemo is close, if not the same height. Let's actually move that head down so you can see what's going on. Looking really, really good. Next up, we do an Arctic Bat, because this is what I got next to me for G.I. Joe. Arctic Bats are a little bit bigger. Same for a Skeleputty. Skeleputty is actually a little bit smaller. But yeah, they're both 6-inch figures, and you can see how they stack out. So as far as range and height, Robocop's not the biggest, but he's also up there, so he's not the smallest. So that works out for everyone when you want to just kind of put him in that range of, what do I do with him? Here we are with Mezco Ichigo. Mezco Ichigo sits a little bit higher in terms of the head, but it's on a Gomez body, so now you should know where that sits. Then we have SHF Kamen Rider Birth. Right? And Birth is like Robocop for the Kamen Riders, right? I'm just making that up. That's not true. Here we are with an AWOC, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, Lexion. Then, in case you want to get super crazy and space cop with it, here is an Astrobot. Here's Argus. No. Is it Argus? I can't remember. Crap. I can't remember his name. And I apologize in advance. Next up, we have a Cosmic Legions Olek. And I figured, why not pump our boy in here? Because Cosmic Legions look really cool. And they're just so cool. So here we are. And that's a 7-inch figure. So as you can see here, you kind of know what you're getting into. We have our Robocops. We have our Terminators. In case you wanted to do Predators, right? Here we are with a NECA Predator. So in case you want to do Robocop versus Predator. And I think that pretty much sums up what I got going on here. But, yes. Oh. I was wrong. Because how could I not include this guy? Right? Look at that. Looks really good. Now, I cursed myself earlier in this video because I mentioned that I had the NECA Robocop, and when I went to go take him out of the bin from the storage, he broke. So he doesn't have any legs to actually stand on, so I cannot compare the NECA Robocop. So I'm going to go out and try to get a new one eventually. But yeah, now you know where this guy stands, at least the Ed 209. So, and then I also realized that there is in a Hagane Works Kane and a Robocop. So I'm going to definitely look into getting those because I forgot all about those. So yeah, in the meantime, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful to you. I hope that it's one of those things where it gave you much needed information. And I hope you had a good time watching it. I hope it was very much informational to you. For real. Informative. Sorry, that's the word. But yeah, as always, guys, please stay out of trouble. Do your best to be good. You know, try. You know, it takes a lot, but being consistent with it hopefully leads to a fulfilling and happy life. So as always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.